Just when you thought it might be over for Erika Jayne from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, new allegations are coming out, including racketeering. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. It's been a while since we talked about Erika Jayne or the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but now Erika Jayne might be in hot water again because new legal documents are accusing her of being involved in possible racketeering. So it's also been a while since we mentioned Ronald Richards. He was actually one of the first people to break this story on his Twitter, saying this: breaking. Erika Girardi to face a racketeering lawsuit. Here is the complaint that is proposed to be filed. In a creative resolution for the Girardi victims, Edelson will have its insurance carrier pay them, and they will get an assignment of those claims. I will link you guys, as always, in the description of this video. But shout out to the ladies of the Bravo docket. Because, you know, these legal terms, I'm not a lawyer. I like to pretend to be one. However, I'm not one. They broke it down so beautifully. I will link you to their Instagram. If you're not following them, follow them. But let's go over how they broke this down so we can break it layman's terms. Okay? All right. And I'll also link you to their podcast group because they're going to talk more about this on their podcast. All right. So they just titled this, Erika may be facing new allegations soon. All right, let's get into what these new court documents are saying. So they say, Jay Edelson is the attorney that flagged to the court that victims and their families from the Lion Air plane crash that he and Tom had represented had not received settlement payments from Tom's firm. Okay, pay attention. He's been working hard to get the funds for the victims and was the one who filed claims against Erika and Tom in the Northern District of Illinois. Okay, this is Jay Edelson. Today, Edelson filed a motion asking the court to approve an agreement he made with the minor plaintiffs from the crash and their families. The agreement is that Edelson would reimburse the victims for the total amount lost and would then pursue those funds from those responsible by essentially stepping into their shoes and pursuing their claims on their behalf. Attached to the motion, and this is the juicy part, they know what we want, is a draft complaint that Edelson intends to file against Erika Jayne, as well as some former Girardi Keese partners, should the court approve the agreement. It is the most detailed explanation of the purported scheme we have seen to date. And this is why I'm even talking about it. Because, you know, I've stayed off of the everyday reports on Erika Jayne. But this is why I'm reporting on it. And again, thank you to the Bravo docket for breaking this down. The draft complaint is worthy of its own podcast episode, but at a high level, it alleges that the Girardi family enterprise, not the Girardi family enterprise. Let me read it again. It alleges that the Girardi family enterprise engaged in a pattern of racketeering activity that included wire fraud, mail fraud, money laundering, engaging in monetary transactions in property derived from specified unlawful activity, interstate transportation of stolen goods, and obstruction of justice, and that based on that, each of the victims lost $500,000. Sidebar: the mansion that they've been trying to sell has gone into foreclosure. They've also had to lower the price again. The draft complaint also alleges that the firm attorneys involved received the stolen money in the form of their salary, and that the stolen money was also used to pay Erika's Amex cards. So you guys see why probably Erika has decided not to show any remorse towards the victims, because it would look like an admission of guilt, possibly. That's just my sidebar. I don't know. It continues. The draft complaint also includes a long narrative of how the scheme allegedly operated. Okay, it's getting good, y'all. This is the tip of the iceberg, but it states, The basic scheme operated like this. When a new opportunity for cases came in, the firm would tap into its network of non-lawyers, sometimes called case runners, to find them injured clients. You know, the ambulance chasers? Apparently, they're not just attorneys. These individuals were paid with cash for getting clients to hire the firm, which is illegal, and would also take a cut of any eventual recovery for the client, which is also illegal. As just one example, Hatcher, a non-lawyer consultant who's responsible for referring the families of air crash victims, got hundreds of thousands of dollars to ensure that his referrals to Girardi were exclusive, along with a similarly illegal percentage of whatever the client eventually got. So, before we get more into this, it wouldn't shock us if Tom Girardi is faking his dementia diagnosis. We continue. It continues. Within the firm, David Lira, Tom's son-in-law, and Keith Griffin. So I've been telling you guys, everyone's focused on Erika, everyone's focused on Tom Girardi, but they're not the only ones in this scheme, allegedly. Within the firm, David Lira, Tom's son-in-law, and Keith Griffin, two of Tom's most senior lawyers, made sure that the client and lawyer-facing aspects of the scheme were managed and appeared to be on the up and up. They struck the deals the firm needed to get a case to settlement, like securing a co-counsel in locations a case would be filed, while in some cases committing to pay out more than $100,000 of the available fees. In other words, Lira and Griffin would make deals with co-counsel with full knowledge that they were never going to get paid. Once a client's settlement money was funneled into the black hole that was the Girardi Keese scheme, Lira and Griffin were tasked with defending off inquiries from clients and other lawyers about why the money never came back out. So it wasn't just Tom. It was these partners. When the firm couldn't fund its operations with client money, it went to lenders, taking out tens of millions in financing. Eventually, though, Girardi Keese became untouchable as a routinely delinquent debtor. One creditor of Girardi Keese became a beneficiary of the scheme. Donardo and his company, California Attorney Lending, too. In order to make back some of the money that Girardi Keese had borrowed, Donardo continued to fund the firm into 2020, provided that he got a first cut of settlement money coming in from Girardi Keese's cases, making sure that the money was paid directly to his company before it ever hit a Girardi Keese account. Again, I want to say thank you to the Bravo docket for breaking these things down in layman's terms, because I know all of the people that follow us, subscribe to us, or that will see this video will be like, oh, okay, now I understand what's happening here. We haven't gotten to the juiciest part yet, though, y'all. Erika Jayne. The draft complaint goes on to state, Erika acted as the front woman of the operation. Allegedly. Erika acted as the front woman of the operation, selling to the world, including unsuspecting clients. So she was sort of like one of those non-lawyer people bringing in clients. Allegedly. Erika acted as the front woman of the operation, selling to the world, including unsuspecting clients, that Girardi Keese was successful. Is this why they decided to put her on reality TV? And she was exceptionally good in the role. With tens of millions of dollars backing her, Erika shamelessly displayed a nationwide showroom of the money they stole on Real Housewives, famously spending $40,000 per month on her look. Remember she said that on the Wendy Williams show? And releasing a song called Expensive, featuring the refrain, "It's expensive to be me." Damn, these are in court documents. And when push came to shove and the fraud was close to being exposed, Erika clamped down on misleading the public into believing that an otherwise damning lawsuit was false. You remember the reunion, okay? Damn, Jay Edelson, y'all have done y'all homework. Erika clamped down on misleading the public into believing that an otherwise damning lawsuit was false and that the plaintiffs behind it were forced to apologize to Tom and the firm. If you don't know, this was all mentioned during the reunion. Remember that reunion of that season? I can't remember the season. You guys will remind me in the chat because you guys have your elephant brains on. Remember that? Where that lawsuit was brought up? And she was like, oh, that was handled, that was settled, they had to apologize to us.
Erika's happy to talk about Lisa Vanderpump all day, but when it comes to Tom defaulting on a $15 million loan, she doesn't say a word.
How about this? Resolved and they apologized.
Really? Erika? We've called Erika out, and so many people are like, why are you guys so hard on Erika and you're not as hard on Jen Shaw? Well, I think we are. And I think we are just as hard on Coach Shaw, Coordinator Shaw. However, Erika's direct involvement in being a part of this Girardi family scheme is starting to come to light. This is highly disturbing, but we're going to keep watching and we're going to keep reporting. She's decided to stay on this reality TV show because she needs the money. At least the legal money. Ooh, you know what Mama always used to say, what's done in the dark will come to the light. Guys, as always, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about what has just come out in regards to Girardi Keese, the law firm, Tom Girardi, and Erika's possible involvement in this scheme? Let's continue the conversation below. And as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.